All right, we're just gonna go on a spin with the tractor. You can kind of see firsthand how the tractor works and what it's like to drive, I guess, what it sounds like and everything. So first thing I do here, you can see this down here, I have my throttle just hooked up here. Spin my throttle up, got it in neutral, and this is about I'm gonna spin it up to about 1500 RPM. That's about 1500 RPM there. And put it in third or fourth. Get it in reverse. Using about 170 amps. Throttle it up. We are in fourth gear. In the low setting. Spin it up to full throttle here. Alright, well that's what it's like to drive it around a little bit. But let me show you how the tractor is configured right now. Alright, so this is the tractor. Right now we got just kind of our battery and our control setup here for our speed controller, our throttle, and then our solenoid. And the throttle has a little micro switch on it with a key switch trigger, and we got a charger right there. Just two 60 amp hour 48 volt batteries is what I got on here right now. Obviously we'll need more, but these are just what I had laying around. And underneath is where the magic happens. This is a 9-inch DC brushed motor, and this is a net gain, and you can see kind of the details of it there. You say, what are the specs of these motors? Well, kind of whatever you dump into them, they can accomplish quite a bit of power, especially for intermittent periods of time. It's not really a lot of times these DC motors weren't really very well continuous running motors, especially heavy loads, but they can do a lot of power. And so the horsepower and the torque specs were similar to the original diesel engine that was in here. And so I have it coupled to my flywheel. Obviously I still have my flywheel and my clutch, and I chopped the end of my crankshaft off on both ends of this engine and just had somebody machine them so that I could just slide the ends of the crankshaft. That splined piece you kind of see down in there that this pulley is slid onto, that's the original end of the crankshaft of the original diesel engine. And I had that machine so I could just slide it onto the 1 1/8" keyed shaft on the end of this motor. And I got this bracket that holds up the end of this motor, and then I made a bracket that holds the end of the other motor up also. And then of course we got the original coupling, so I could just stick that pulley on, which coupled that which had that shaft that came out of the end of it and ran to the hydraulic pump. I needed to shorten the shaft a little bit, so I did it with a Lovejoy coupler. And this shaft kind of wiggles as it is anyways. You can see here, I mean, as it is. Eventually I may have to do something else because the teeth around this were pretty rough, but it still does the trick. It doesn't slip yet. And so this thing supposedly flexes, this thing flexes, and then this thing kind of even gives a little bit. So none of this is real tight or anything. So then I could mount that hydraulic pump right where it was. And of course I then needed to mount my power steering pump similar, kind of right where it was. And I haven't hit the cap yet. It's just kind of temporary cap. It was missing the cap, and all that runs. So it's kind of how it is. And yeah, once I get some bigger batteries on here, I can definitely go higher than 48 volts on this system. I could do a 96. I can do a, you know, especially with this motor, you know, 144 volt. And like I said, it's kind of whatever I can dump into these things. And the more voltage I have, the more torque I have. But the more voltage I have, the more RPM I can rise up to also, which can grossly exceed the original RPM of the transmission and stuff. And so anyways, that's kind of the setup. Hope you enjoy. I will be posting more videos of the electric tractor and showing how it works and what kind of power it takes to do certain things, and get some real data so that can really figure out what it takes to do certain things. And but the problem, I just got to figure out a setup where I can share all that data, collect it, share it, put it on video, and show it all to you in a good, simple way.